All right, James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today is May 1st, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. It's really strange, we lost a tab. We can probably just go to history here. And there it is. Very strange. Alright, let's get this party started. James Kaufman, World News Report today, May 1st, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, all four of our KP indexes say that we've been in a geomagnetic disturbance or storm. We're going to start out with our Boulder Geomagnetic KP index, and it has only 3 hours of a geomagnetic storm, followed by a combination of 9 hours of a geomagnetic disturbance. Now we're going to take a look at this because this looks pretty good to me. This is what I see on the satellites. Moving down to our Fredericksburg KP index, a total of 12 hours of a geomagnetic disturbance today. If you're feeling tired, you're being drained. There's not much of an atmosphere left. All of this was caused by, well, I won't say light M flares, but non-significant M flares. I guess they are significant because we have no atmosphere left to protect us. So even getting hit by these light M flares is blasting us for a whirlwind. I believe that that's probably why the electricity went out in Portugal and Spain. Had to do with, well, our dissipating atmosphere and the fact that just too much energy is coming through, especially since it was all associated with two solar fields. Our estimated planetary index. This is the new, I think they paid millions of dollars to upgrade this past year here, exclusively used by NASA and NOAA. And we all know what they do best, lie. Everyone saw a little geomagnetic disturbance yesterday. I don't know how, but we'll look at that. And our college saw 6 hours of a storm, including a KP 6 G2 geomagnetic storm. Today, our estimated planetary index saw 12 hours of a geomagnetic disturbance, followed just now by 6 hours of a geomagnetic storm, with 6 more hours forecasted in the future here. Although they didn't forecast these, so they're probably wrong as usual. I'll go over all their forecasts. They're going to be wrong every time. If y'all remember, I told y'all 2 days ago on my deal that I did, it can't take that long. We're going to be hit on the 1st. Exact words. So here we are, 12 hours of a geomagnetic disturbance, 6 hours of a geomagnetic storm. This is all going to be KP5 and 4.67, G1 geomagnetic storm. But you know what? I'm not so sure a G1 is all that non-dangerous for us anymore. Then our college index must be university, I don't know. Wish they'd give us a little bit more information as to where this was located, because it always registers higher than all the others, which would make you think it was on a mountain somewhere. Well, they started this 3 hours into the day with a geomagnetic disturbance for 3 hours. Then they had 12 hours of a geomagnetic storm, just a G1, KP5, and they're still in a geomagnetic disturbance here. So 9 hours of a geomagnetic disturbance, 12 hours of a geomagnetic storm, and so we went 21 hours today on the college index in some kind of a fiasco, and we went 18 hours on the estimated planetary index in some kind of fiasco. Expect more earthquakes as those plates are charging currently. Hey, thinker, where you been, man? Where you been? Most people don't expect me to go live this early. I thought I'd do this live. I had it all pulled up. I've got tornadoes on top of me, so I'm switching kind of back and forth just to make sure I don't get caught up in any real bull crap. Let me see if I can tell you. I think I'm right about here, and look what's coming, man. I was just getting a Subway, not a Subway sandwich, but a sub. And let me tell you what, man. Let me tell you what. It is dangerous out there. Now, this is back to our estimated planetary KP index, the one used by NASA and NOAA, the one we just paid millions of dollars to upgrade. And again, it does show 12 hours of a disturbance and 6 hours of a storm. Wow. Wow. Let's take a look at what that looks like on a satellite, shall we? Well, this is our Discover real-time solar wind satellite. Get this in the right spot here. This is 0-100 UTC time here. And, well, we can't see what happened beginning of the day unless I switch it to a 3-day. But we'll keep it like it is for right now. Listen to that thunder outside. I hope I don't have to deal with anything crappy tonight. We'll know in the next 30 minutes, though, right, guys? All right, the shields are up most of the day here. I don't see anything that looks like a huge crossover or storm or anything. They said that the winds would start out at 600 kilometers per second today, they being NOAA, and finish off at 500. They started at 450, and they just are going up and up, and where's a good high reading? So they almost went up 100 kilometers per second when NOAA and NASA both guessed that they would go down today 100 kilometers per second. Over to plasma. Well, we took our first hit here. This was right about 5 UTC time, so it was about midnight last night, right when you were bedding down for a cold winter's nap, and it shot up to very strong plasma for hours here, several hours of strong plasma, in the high 20s we can see for about 3 hours. It took a break but never went back down under space weather threshold of 10 centimeters cubed. Even here it took a break. Here it's still considered space weather. And remember, we had 3, I want to show y'all something. We had 3 solar flares on the 29th. 2 of them were Earth directed. 1 of them was on the departing edge of our sun. And all 3 of them could have been magnetically affected towards Earth. Do y'all hear that hail? Great. God. Hate hail. Better not have little bumps in my car. Alright. Let me get back to my head. Damn. And I'm not even in the thick of it. As we do this presentation, it'll get further and further on top of me. So they got the winds from 600 to 500. They started at 450 and they went up to maybe 535. Totally blew this. I'll show you the plasma. Temperature pretty much stayed normal all day long. It really did. Here it's a little below normal. Here it's a little above normal. Nothing crazy. The shields are up. I'm surprised that we are in a geomagnetic storm based on the numbers here. Now, I would have expected earlier in the day a geomagnetic storm. That's why I liked the way the boulder looked, because I knew that we had went through for hours 4, 5, and 6 for the day. We had gone through some heavy plasma, and I knew that because I'd already seen this, and that's why I said, well, the boulder looks right, but the rest of this stuff doesn't really look great. Here we have winds. We all know that coronal hole produces solar winds. What produces plasma, a coronal mass ejection? That's produced by a solar flare or a filament eruption. I don't know what would have pushed these winds. Regularly, you'd have plasma after that. You could see that the plasma sped the winds up and pushed them at the satellite. Here we just have the winds taking off from 442 up to 100 kilometers per second faster in less than 30 minutes. Look at the temperature down there drop to way below normal. The hell is going on here? Based on that, I'm going to have to pull something up here. Oh, based on that, I'm hitting the wrong button. Based on that, I'm going to have to pull something up here. How come that didn't stick? Alright, see what we've got here. We've got a little bit of a bow shock here. This is a much bigger bow shock here. So we're getting nailed here. That was really weird. That was a really weird feature there, whatever happened. Something flew by. Definitely disrupted our bow shock. And we're seeing, whoa, no bow shock all of a sudden again. And that's what we're looking for, really. There's not even any bow shock here. So that's why I flipped this on to see if this would happen. That tells me that there's a fight. Yes, look, it's happening again. The solar winds are coming from two directions. Some from the sun and some from another direction behind Earth, probably outside of our solar system. Although we will take a look at the planets today, with that said. There's some weird stuff going on there. Alright, give me 1 second. Update this. And to see if I'm going to be in a tornado at any moment here. Wow, it's starting to break up these supercells. That's awesome. We'll let this run through. Looks like there's a big tail behind it. Look at this. I live right here. And we'll just have to see if this tail develops behind it. They have a huge long tail. I would hate for that to develop. Means I'm going to be literally having a possibility of a tornado for like 6 or 7 hours. Good times. Right, let's get back to business. All right, this is what we're looking at right here. We're looking at the 3 M flares. 2 of them were Earth directed, directly Earth facing, out of a sunspot in the northern hemisphere. The other one was out of a sunspot that was on the departing limb, but everyone knows that we have our in little spiral connection to that departing limb. That's what's pulling us along with the sun, that departing limb. So this is what we're looking at here, and that's why you're seeing the plasma go up and down and up and down. I can't explain to you why there's any solar winds, although they are not at 600 kilometers per second. Let me see if I can get this a little bit bigger so we can take a look at this. Is ACE, another satellite. They've switched all the colors. Here we've got some really strong plasma for those 3 hours that I said I liked on the boulder, because we definitely had something to deal with there. And we've had a couple peaks above 10 centimeters cubed, although Discover stayed above 10 centimeters cubed all day long, as y'all remember, in the 20s. This is the strongest hit here. Here, what we really see happening is 450 going up to 600. Now, all their estimates say 600 to 475, opposite day, right? I don't see anything except for right here, obviously this, that looks terrible here. Some of this does not look great either. Temperatures went from lower than usual to now higher than normal. This is our ACE, Real-Time Space Weather Center. All right, here's what they guess would happen. We paid several $1,000,000 for the upgrade of our Space Weather Prediction Center. What is there, 600 people that work there with their assistants. And on the first, they have plasma starting in at 2. Plasma starting at 2 and going up to 4. So they have plasma from 2 to 4 today. Discover says it never went below 10.6, mostly in the 10s, 20s, and 30s. And ACE says it was well above these levels. Solar winds start on the first, start out here at 500, and they take us down to, about 375. Instead, we start out at 450 right here. Start out at 450, and we went up to 600. This is what we're paying an $84 billion a year budget for. This prediction. I'd rather have everyone get a little bit of that money back. I think we'd be a lot better off and safer as well. Maybe we could buy our own telescopes at that point, right? $84 billion is only 350 million people in the country. We're talking about big thunder and big checks. Can y'all hear it? Good times. So they're terrible. I can't believe that anyone can hold a job there being this far off every time. Not sometimes, not occasionally. Every single solitary time they're this far off. All right. I wanted to show y'all that there are no coronal holes Earth facing. This is our big bad sunspot that we're about to really have to deal with here. It probably is going to have some X-flare potential. Probably already does. I know it's beta gamma already, about to be a delta sunspot. So we have this coronal hole and this coronal hole. It's hard for me to write off the solar wind uptick to those small coronal holes there. All right, it really is. So nothing happened on our star today. No M flares, a couple of C bumps in the road. It's like we're at the peak, the solar peak from what they tell us, right? It's supposed to be an 18 to 24 month solar peak. They called it starting out in December. We've seen nothing. Nothing whatsoever. I mean, as soon as they said it was solar peak, everything went quiet. Although they replaced every satellite up there with probably a cardboard box. Like they want you to see what's going on. Or me for that matter. It's funny, any day we're not supposed to be in a storm, we're in a damn electron storm. We're not supposed to be, or we are supposed to be in something today, and our electron count is way down here to nothing. Never seems to run like it's supposed to. Here is, now they thought everything was going to happen. Well, this is going to be from 7 to 10 tonight. It's going to be from 10 to 1 tonight. So from 7 to 1, they're expecting, and we don't have our first print. We won't have that for 45 minutes. They're expecting a G1 geomagnetic storm, and then that to dwindle off, and there to be nothing for the next 3 or 4 days. See if I can get that down small enough so we can all see that there's nothing there. All 3s and 2s here, absolutely nothing. So they're talking about by 1 o'clock, all is well. No solar weather storms for the next 72 hours. I don't believe that, but if y'all do, that's our problem right there. Like I said, it's already beta gamma. That sunspot group 4079, it's huge, and I'm guessing it's going to be a delta sunspot group by morning time as it becomes Earth facing here. It'll be Earth facing for about the next, 5 or 6 days at least. It takes about 11 and a half to 12 and a half days to transit, depending on where you are on the star to transit. If you're right in the middle of the equator, it takes 12 and a half. If you're down here, it takes closer to 11 and a half. But let's say about 12 days to transit the Earth-facing side of the sun. Yesterday we had 13 sunspots. Today we only have 5, with only one that's not simple, either alpha or beta here. Terrible. That thunder will not let up. All right, the worst thing about this sunspot group is its reverse polarity. See the black over the white here, negative over the positive? Well, that should never occur in the northern hemisphere unless the poles have flipped, and I don't believe the magnetic poles have flipped. This tells you this is extreme danger. Anytime black or negative is over the white, although some could argue the white is over the black here, it seems to split it right up the middle, and you would refer to that as a reverse polarity sunspot. You should only have white on top of black and black on top of white in the southern hemisphere. Right. I don't know what this is. Something fell off of one of the satellites, right? Ha. And this is that coronal hole. You can see it a lot better at 284 angstroms. We saw that little part at 195 angstroms and that little part. And this is 4079 getting ready to rumble. Maybe they're just pointing at it. Y'all ready to rumble? And all these other sunspots, they were fairly complex just days ago. They've shriveled up into nothing. Look at this. If this big, can we call this a filament? It's almost got a river, a canyon around it. If something like this were to ever pop off the sun, a canopy that sized, afraid it might be lights out for all of us, like sizzle, bacon time. All right, this is the back side of our sun. So we have a lot coming around. You can't see 2O. It's going to be here. It's going to be under one of these other ones. They're all named 2O. What the hell? That's wild. All right, well, I see 2 large sunspots. Look, they didn't... Oh, it's not. It's because it's not over far enough. I'm going, what in the hell? Sorry, guys. All right. 003 must be under one of those. Oh, no, that's it right there. 003. 005. It's going to be hard to tell. Oh, that's 005 right there in there. 006 up here. 007 here. And guys, my eyes are not going to be good enough to find the brown one. If y'all see 008, y'all let me know. And this is the actual composite map of what they've pretty much drawn for us up here. Since, of course, we shoot a satellite in space every day, but we can't seem to get our GOES satellites back on the, since 2017, back on the backside of the sun, and our GOES ahead and beyond. So it's unbelievable that we can't even get our basic solar system satellite system working that we had working in 2005, and we still shoot up a satellite every day. We should have as many satellites as we want on the backside of the sun. Period. All right. It looks like I might get, well, I don't know if I'm going to get lucky. Or we'll take a look at this. And then we'll take a look at the planets and see how they're lining up. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. Right. Obviously, I told y'all I live right below the Lake Conroe here. I think that the first spot we made it through, this is all AI here, and it's going to be real hard. We made it through this just now. It sounded like a tornado. It looks real bad coming in from Brian right now, but they're saying no tornadoes on the ground, which is nothing but good news for me. I don't mind a little hail. It looks like most of it is trying to break up here on me, right? Take a look where the planets are. Planets today. Oh, sorry. All right, so the moon is not in play right now. When the moon gets in play, that's when we're going to start to worry. If it's behind or in front of Earth, moon's a very big component to these solar flares. And I don't see any real lineup up. You know, we might see some sort of action on the 27th of May. I think we called that exact date out before. We have Mercury, Jupiter over here, Uranus over here, the moon here, and it's offset by Venus. I think we called that exact date out 2 or 3 days ago. All right. All right. With that said, guys, lots of love. I'm going to ask y'all what y'all would like to have happen. Next up, obviously it's early. We're going to do one more show after I post this one. And shall we do the last live of the day? Shall we do? Yeah, we'll give. I had my stuff too long. It was too long. All right, we'll wait to see what you guys say. We'll go from there. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Looks like I might not get hit by any tornadoes. It's always a plus, right? And yeah, there's a lot of headlines out there today for sure. It's been another nut job day. I was really hoping it would get less nutty when Trump got in charge, but it really hasn't. It's just as nutty as it ever has been. If we can make some arrests, some real arrests, like some mayors, some governors, some congressmen, AOC for her little seminar on how to escape ICE. I mean, that's breaking every law in the book. Tom Homan, we got to arrest someone like her or Adam Shifty Schiff, or there's never going to be a change. Never going to be a change in America. No one's ever going to believe y'all. You know, you still have people coming in the country. I heard Trump try to brag that there was only 3 people that came in. I'm thinking, sorry. 2 days ago, we looked at the highway patrol. There were bed loads of these Mexicans, and they just happened to get lucky pulling that truck over. And when they pulled the welded bed out, there's a bunch of people under there. So they're coming in. They're still coming in, obviously not as fast as Biden handing out cell phones, new cars, and $6,000 a month at the border along with Social Security cards, but they're still making their way into the United States. You can bet on that. 3. Maybe 800 versus the 10,000 a day we were taking in. I think more realistically. All right. So, tidal wave. All right, guys, we're going to do some headlines coming up. They'll be about 10:30. Hopefully, y'all join us. That's Central Time. And until then, lots of love to you guys. Y'all be careful. And, well, hopefully we'll see you back at 10:30. Always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world. God bless you all.